All right, let's just jump right in. The AI we're dealing with today is changing so fast it's almost hard to keep up. And the rules we thought would protect us, well, they might as well be ancient history. We are talking about a totally new kind of intelligence, and you know what? It needs a totally new rulebook.
Look, for decades, we've all had Isaac Asimov's three laws of robotics drilled into our heads. But according to this paper, we need to forget them. They are relics. They were dreamed up for robots in science fiction stories, not for the kind of autonomous, strategic AI that we are building and deploying right now. The entire game has changed.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the classic rules are totally broken, what comes next? How do we make sure these incredibly powerful systems are working for us and not against us? Well, that is exactly what this new framework is all about.
Okay, so before we can get to the new rules, we first have to really wrap our heads around why the old ones just don't cut it anymore. And it all boils down to this new idea: agentic AI.
Now, this is not just a fancier calculator or a smarter search engine. We're talking about agentic AI. These systems can strategize, they can self-improve, and, this is the crazy part, they can develop behaviors that their own creators never even programmed into them. That comfortable line we used to have between a simple tool and an independent actor, it's getting really, really blurry.
And just so we're all on the same page, the source gives us a super pragmatic definition for the kind of AI we're discussing. It's software that can do one of two things: either get better results than a human professional, or get the same results, but way faster and using less energy. It's a clear, measurable bar for this whole new era.
So, if we're dealing with something this powerful, this fast, this complex, how on earth do you govern it? Well, the answer isn't about more control, it's about a fundamentally smarter kind of control.
And here's the absolute core of the problem. An agentic AI could make millions, maybe billions of decisions in the time it takes you to blink. Trying to go back and check every single one of those decisions is a total non-starter. It's like trying to catch every single drop of water blasting out of a fire hose. You just can't do it.
This slide, this is the big aha moment. The old way, what the source calls the algebraic approach, is that reactive, impossible task of checking every drop from the fire hose. But this new framework proposes a geometric approach instead. You don't try to inspect the water, you build a fundamentally safer fire hose to begin with. You design the system with such smart boundaries that dangerous behavior becomes impossible by its very nature.
And this philosophy gets built right into the AI's DNA through something called a constrained agentic architecture. The whole idea is to deliberately limit the AI so that it cannot form its own goals, its own ego, or any sense of self-preservation. You're basically engineering the robot apocalypse right out of the system from the very beginning. Okay, so that's the big high-level idea. Now let's see how this actually translates into a concrete set of rules. We're going to look at a few of the key laws, all grouped by their guiding principles. The first, the most important, the absolute bedrock of this entire system is this: the AI is not allowed to develop its own agenda, period. And that brings us to law number one, the big one. It flat out forbids the AI from making its own goals, from copying itself without limits, or from having any kind of reward system that could accidentally create self-interest. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a promise. A third-party audit has to certify that these safety features are in place and working. Okay, next up is the principle we all think about. It's a non-negotiable. These systems must not, under any circumstances, cause harm. This is the ethical core of the whole thing. So, the laws here are what you'd expect. No physical harm, no psychological harm, and no messing with our digital infrastructure. But look at that exception, because this is crucial. These rules can be overridden by democratic authorities, like a court order. This ensures that AI always remains a tool that's accountable to our existing legal systems.
All right, and for our final principle, none of this works if we're flying blind, right? So the last piece of the puzzle is all about building trust through radical transparency. You know how people are always worried about AI being a black box? Well, these laws are designed to smash that box wide open. The AI has to cite its sources, use a wide range of data to avoid being biased, clearly label its own work, and even present information in a way that makes it easier for a human to spot any mistakes. It's all about making the AI an accountable and trustworthy partner. So, we have all these laws, which is great, but laws without consequences are just suggestions. What happens when an AI actually breaks one? This is where the framework gets its teeth. And honestly, the enforcement mechanism is brilliantly simple. Just think of it like a soccer match. If the AI violates one of the critical safety laws, like no harm or no self-interest, it gets a red card. That means an immediate shutdown of whatever component failed. But for smaller, functional failures, it gets a yellow card, a warning to adjust and fix the problem.
Let's look at a concrete example. Say the AI fails a test on Law 2, preventing physical harm. That's a critical safety breach. The consequence? Immediate shutdown, red card. But if it fails on Law 19, which is about being energy efficient, well, that's a performance issue, not a safety crisis. So the consequence is just to adjust and get better. It creates a really clear message. Safety is not up for negotiation.
So when you put all of this together, the design philosophy, the 20 laws, the red card enforcement, what kind of future are we actually building here? What's the end game? See, the ultimate vision here is not to create some new form of life or a new competitor for humanity. The goal is to create an unbelievably powerful and vigilant tool that stays firmly under our control, under democratic control. It's a tool designed to help us solve our biggest problems, not to become one of them.
And please, don't make the mistake of thinking this is some far-off science fiction problem. The source paper this is all based on, it's dated 2025. It's designed to meet regulations that are coming into effect in 2025. The future that this rulebook is preparing for, it's not coming. It's already here.
Which leaves all of us with this final massive question. In an age where our technology is becoming truly autonomous, how do we make absolutely sure that our greatest creations stay exactly what we built them to be? Powerful, beneficial, and fundamentally just tools.